Welcome to Renegade Thinkers Unite, a show that will help you transform your marketing from mere messaging to programs that break the rules and make a difference. Join the movement today and learn non-traditional techniques that give you an edge. Now, here's your Chief Marketing Renegade, Drew Nizer.
All right, we're going to go for a second episode with Jon Ferrara, founder and CEO of Nimble. I want to do the second episode because I believe there are some insights that are sitting right in this room that we all need to share. And since Jon is a big believer in giving your knowledge away, I don't want to miss this opportunity to grab a little bit more of this for the permanent record. So, Jon, thank you for agreeing to be on Renegade Thinkers Unite and do another round with us.
You bet, Drew. Like I said, I think that we're on this planet to grow our souls and help other people grow theirs, and you do that best by being present with other human beings and sharing your passion, plan, and purpose, and ideally somehow adding value. And that's all we leave this planet with is the vibrations and the moments that we're truly connected to other people around us. So you are blessing me by giving me the opportunity to inspire and educate.
All right. Well, we're going to inspire and educate, and Bill is with me again, and let's talk about this idea that we're propagating here of renegade thinking. And when you look at marketing right now, what do you think is sort of what's cutting edge, what's state of the art for other marketers? And obviously we know about your tool, but what are you seeing out there? You're going, oh my God, that's really brilliant.
I think that in our over-connected, over-communicated world, we're all bombarded by messages that are not one-to-one, authentic, and relevant. Mm-hmm. And so we throw those away. We toss them aside. And so I think that if you can effectively enrich the contacts you have, segment properly, outreach in a one-to-one way, you can drive your opens and your clicks and your results through the roof. And the other day I was talking to this entrepreneur who has this app called Mariana IQ. And it's a brand new app, and it looked interesting. They're using big data to go and look at a pool of your contacts and build a persona, and then go and take that persona and drive net new leads by going out to this net new pool, and they pull out this pool, and then you can do targeted ads on Facebook and Google directly to those people for tenths of a penny on a dollar, and I think that works to be able to deliver one-to-one authentic and relevant messages.
And it sounds like they did a lot of spade work first so that the people that you're talking to are the right people.
Well, yeah, ultimately, every business has a gold mine in their accounting system. Mm-hmm. Who did you sell to before? Mm-hmm. What did they look like? Okay. Who do you have in your CRM or your lead list that looks like those best people? People don't even do that, mm-hmm. right? And then net new leads that look like that person, and then outreach to them in some way that's different, right? I mean, if you look at my phone, there's 200 and what is that? 69,000 unopened messages.
Wow.
Right?
That's insane.
You're not going to get a hold of me through email.
Right.
And so
which is what I applied.
So you need to understand what is the best channel. What is the best message? Who are the best people? What's the best time to do that? But I really believe that marketing won't help you grow your business. What will help you grow your business is aligning the promises that you make to the experience that you deliver. Mm-hmm. And much of that experience happens through your customer-facing business team members. So if you can empower them to deliver delight at every point of contact, and I think that you can be really, really successful.
It's interesting to me because there feels like a paradox here. It's probably not, but the paradox that I'm hearing is that on the one hand, we're all driven to sort of build our networks and get those relationships going and try to make, but there becomes a point of diminishing returns because to your point, it's that authenticity, that one-on-one interaction that really matters. The clients that are staying with you are the ones that feel cared for, the ones that feel like you're authentically helping them individually, not as a mass, and not these sort of mass blast emails and things. At the same time, businesses are looking to scale and leverage. So how do you come to terms with this apparent paradox where on the one hand, you want to go deep with an individual, but at the same time, you want to be able to have some form of scale?
Well, Bill, there's a thing called the Dunbar limit. And the Dunbar limit essentially is a study by this guy Dunbar in England. Google it, Dunbar limit. Yeah. It says you can only manage 100 to 200 relationships at any one time in your head. That's why we need tools. Yeah. That's why we need tools to help us be more nimble and effective with those relationships. But ultimately, I think that the mistake that many business people make is that they make business about business. Business isn't about business. It's about people. What? It really is. It's about connecting with people, and that's why they'll remember you. If you have a connection with another human being, if there becomes a burp regarding pricing or product or positioning or whatever, you're going to ride through those bumps of life if you paid that relationship forward and there's a human connection. And we connect on the 5 F's of life: family, friends, food, fun, and fellowship. And those things are not LinkedIn. Those things are Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and other things, those softer things that we all connect that really bond us. And so if you think about it, relationships are like a chair. LinkedIn might be one leg, but Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, these other things are where people really get to know you. So if you want to build relationships, open up your shirt, roll up your sleeves, share a little bit about yourself. Don't just share a bunch of quotes and business crap in your social. Share what you're passionate about. I'm passionate about family and food and outdoors. And if you want to get to know me, spend 5 seconds on my Instagram. You're going to learn a lot better how to connect with me than 5 minutes on my LinkedIn.
And there you go. And by the way, I set up this appointment in this interview via Twitter because I tried via email and I didn't hear from him. So I direct messaged you, and sure enough, I once again, yes, know your channels and so forth. I think one of the things that you said about, business isn't about business is so true, and it's really true of marketing in general, in that we think we make rational decisions, and the truth is we make pretty much emotional decisions. That most of our buying decisions are, when you really boil it down, pretty irrational. And so we buy things that we like. And if you finally ask consumers why'd you do it, I like this one better. I do. I don't know why. And I think what you were talking about is pumping equity into, or making deposits into Goodwill Bank, if you will, that are the emotional connections that you're going to build with your customers. And it's amazing. I think you and I could stand in front of B2B audiences and you wouldn't see as many heads nodding as you think, because they're going to say, no, it's about data and cost and efficiency and so forth. So how do you, where's the balance? Is there a balance? Do we need to be thinking about this other stuff if all these decisions are emotional?
Well, ultimately, in order to build trust in relationships with your constituency at large, and I say constituency because it's not just about prospects and customers, and it's not just about sales and marketing people. Everybody in companies participate in the journey with your constituency, and it's more than prospects and customers that you need to be engaging with. But if you think about the difference between marketing and relationships, marketing is that high-level bombing thing that happens over the battlefield where you're dropping bombs at scale in order to soften up the battlefield. But to win that war, you need to put boots on the ground. Mm-hmm. And the boots on the ground are your customer-facing business team members. And that for them to be effective, they need intelligence. So who are they? What's their business about? And they need to be able to engage at scale. And so they're not going to use Marketo to engage at scale with a lead, right? They need something more personal. That's why they need something like Nimble to understand who they are and what their business is about, and then to be able to get signals on the opens and clicks on the email and social that they're sharing with that person in order to drive top of mind. And so I think that there isn't really a paradox, that you kind of need to do all of these things to be successful. If you think about the way that we built Goldmine, the way we're building Nimble, is we just didn't use influencer marketing, i.e. go through the reseller. We started to then use biz dev by putting the product in other places like Egghead and CopyUSA, so people would see it in the store, do integrations with QuickBooks and Microsoft products, so they'd see it's integrated with their best favorite products, build relationships with editors and writers so they see us being written about in publications. And then we started slipping in radio ads and TV and airplane ads. And so all of a sudden they're seeing us from multiple different directions, and we're the trusted brand. And so it's the basic stuff that still wins. And we all need to do all this basic stuff. So there is a place for marketing, and there is a place for relationships. The relationships happen at that one-to-one level across your team members, but you still need to have a unified message and be consistent about that messaging and drive the high-level stuff and then integrate, do the biz dev and all the other things.
It's a perfect place to take a quick break. And when we come back, I think we should talk a little bit about how hard some of this and some of the harder lessons that you've learned as a result of being a two-time entrepreneur. So we'll be right back.
You've been listening to another great interview on Renegade Thinkers Unite with Drew Neiser. But the value doesn't end there. As a listener, you can download a free ebook from Drew, Renegade Thinkers, interviews with 11 trailblazing CMOs any business can learn from. Top marketing thought leaders and proven executives from Time Warner, American Express, and Chico's, and others. Get your free copy at renegadethinkersunite.com/ebook. For listeners only at renegadethinkersunite.com/ebook.
Okay, we're back, and my guest is Jon Ferrara, and who's the CEO and founder of Nimble. We've been talking a lot about relationship building. I'm curious, as you've done all of this, have there been any mistakes that you've made that you go, wow, okay, that was one I only want to make once?
Well, I think that people don't know the full story behind Goldmine, but Goldmine actually started out as an accounting software company. Because I had a co-founder who was writing business applications in DBase. I said, write networkable business programs, and he happened to write a couple of pieces of an accounting program, so we put that together. And we started the company to start selling that, and I was a computer science math major. I don't know the difference between a credit and debit. And I don't like talking to accountants or talking about accounting. And so, but I was good at it because I'm not bad at, relationships and selling. And we started to build up this, channel of VARs and end users, and I need something to manage the relationships. And so I built and designed Goldmine to do that. And it turned out that Goldmine really was our future, and we had to pivot. And so I think it's important to be brave enough as a business or business person to know if the thing that you're doing is the right thing. And to be able to make that hard decision to make changes with personnel, with product, with process. And then with Nimble, we pioneered social to business applications. But I think at a time where people weren't ready for social. And we made major investments in integrating with Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn. And then LinkedIn decided that they didn't want to have anybody have their API. And Facebook wanted you to go to Facebook to consume Facebook. And so we didn't have that API at the level we wanted to anymore. So we had to sort of refocus our business. And I said to myself, what's the most important business signal that we all have? That's the contacts we're connected to, the conversation we're having on email, and the activities we're driving on calendar. Email, contact, and calendar are still the foundational business aspects. And so we doubled down on integrated into Office 365 and Google Apps for Work and building the first CRM that works for you by building it south. But most importantly, works with you everywhere you work. Because I don't think you want to go to your contact tool, your CRM, to use it. I think you want your CRM or contact tool to work with you wherever you are. So if I'm sitting here having a conversation with Bill and with Drew, I know your background. I could find the history of conversations my team and I have had, but most importantly, I can follow up and follow through in any app I am because Bill Coach Wooden said it best.
Right.
It's the basics that wins games. And I think we all fail by not doing the basics.
Yeah, well, as a Dookie, I saw the basics hurt us this year. South Carolina just killed them with defense, and it turned out that it was a real deal because they won their next 2 games after that. So that's pretty basic stuff. I am as I think about all of this. We've talked a lot about relationship building and managing relationships and so forth. One of the things that you and I talked about is at some point you need to scale even broader. You need to increase your reach, and that gets beyond like the influencer program that you're doing. How do you see getting from where you are now to 1 million customers?
Well, interestingly enough, Drew and Bill, history repeats itself. And if you know history, you can predict the future. So there once was a little company called Novell that dominated network operating systems for businesses. And they got ate by a company called Microsoft that doesn't innovate, they iterate. They wait for somebody else to build the market, and then they come in with a product that's good enough, but with a incredible team of marketing, development, but most importantly, the base of users, then channel and distribution. So 5 years ago when we started, Google was the only choice in town. Even up to a year ago, 90% of my new users, which happen all organically, by the way, we're generating 100,000 uniques per month on our website with zero marketing, and we're converting at 5% to trial and 10% to paid with zero salespeople. As you can see, it's all digital here. So a year ago, 90% of my new prospects that just organically happened were all Gmail or Google Apps. Today, 50% of them are Office 365. Microsoft has come on like gangbusters. And actually, that productivity war has almost been won. If you think about it, there's 3 to 5 million Google Apps for Work customers today. There's 100 million Office 365 ones. And there's billions of Office customers, and hundreds of thousands of ours come in this way. And so what we've done is we built an integration with Microsoft that Microsoft is giving away on 100 million users of Outlook that essentially gives you insights on people and companies without any login. It's frictionless. And we'll be upselling and cross-selling those people to Nimble users. But most importantly, the average Microsoft bar sells plumbing to plumbers. They sell IT infrastructure stuff to IT decision makers. They don't sell solutions. And they don't use modern social sales and marketing applications. So Microsoft is having me teach their VARs social sales and marketing, and they're starting to gift their VARs Nimble. Well, guess what? People sell what they know, and they know what they use. So history is going to repeat itself, and we will be at, I think, 100 million plus in revenue and tens of millions of users in the not too distant future.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow. So the first, because as you were talking about that, I was thinking, well, yeah, you get it on all these machines, but no one's going to use it. But you solve that problem because you'll have these folks that will get to know it, and then they'll be using it. They'll say, "Hey, are you using Nimble? It's built right in." So that's pretty cool. You are going to have to do a little scaling here on a customer support basis. I would imagine also that there's probably a lot of content to be developed in the future on how to use these kind of tools and how to think about this social content management. So talk about your content plan.
Sure. So the wonderful thing is we spent 5 years building relationships with the top thought leaders in the world in social sales and marketing. And these people are kind enough to be users, evangelists, contributors to our blog, our webinars, and that is a infinite depth of content right there. But we also are scaling our own influencer and content teams internally, as well as our customer success teams as well. So it's one of the reasons why we recently raised $9 million in funding, and we'll be using that to scale our company. But I'm not a big believer in spending money to scale. I think that you could do it intelligently in other ways. And you can see we've done that before historically. So we will be prudent as we scale, because I'd prefer to never take a dime again.
What do you mean you prefer? Oh, never take another dime of venture capital.
Yeah.
I see. Right. But you self-funded this, the first part.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Well, this is again so many different things to think about that you've helped us here, and one of the things that consistent theme is, Jeff Hazlett calls it other people's money. Which is the best money of all when it comes to marketing. Now, it wasn't maybe VC. By getting these thought leaders to give you this content, you've essentially created a library of people who are really good, and been able to take that and build your business on it, which is really cool.
And the thing is about that is that we're here helping them build their brand, because everybody wants to have a better brand and a better network, even these influencers. And so we have a ready-made audience of their exact type of customer that they want to be serving, who are hungry to be better, smarter, faster at their areas of expertise. So we're here to help those influencers build their brands in social sales and marketing by helping them inspire and educate our customers. So it's a win-win situation.
And that's really, I've talked about influencer marketing on this show before. We just had an episode with IBM, and you really have to create these win-win scenarios. One of the things that Bill and I have struggled with, and it's interesting that maybe you have an opinion as we wrap this thing up, is how does a person like yourself, there's your personal brand and then there's the Nimble brand. How do you make sure that you've sort of kept them separate but still brought them together? I think Bill and I have done a pretty good job building the Drew Nizer brand and the Bill Carmody brand, but making sure that they stay, the connection to the Nimble brand in your case is clear.
Well, I think there's a lot of people who try to separate their business life and their personal life. And if you go back 100 years, everybody knew when everybody else was going to the bathroom, and we all lived in a small village, and we brought our business associates home for dinner. And so social's making the world a small village again. And so when I share content across my identities in Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram, Foursquare, Google+, Crunchbase, AngelList, and Snapchat, I share both my business persona and my personal persona, because I think that business is personal. And so I don't necessarily feel like I need to wall the two off, because I have friends from high school who love learning about how to be better, smarter, faster at social sales and marketing, and love learning about Nimble. And they also love my recipes on how to cook a chuck roast.
All right. Well, we'll have to get that recipe. We'll put those in the show notes.
I have it easy. I'll do it for you real quick.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So you get a 3-pound chuck roast, and you salt and pepper it, and you brown it, and you set it aside. And then what you do is you get I use a La Crusette pan. It's a cast iron thing with a lid. Put the oven on at 275, and I take 3 jars of pepperoncinos with the sauce, and I just pour it in and put it in the oven for 6 hours.
There it is. All right, so there you have it. That's a first on Renegade Thinkers Unite as a fabulous recipe. So we do it all here on this show. Joe, I want to thank you again for this the second episode. There are a lot of things that came out in this one that didn't come out in the first episode, and I think that a couple of highlights to me. I love the analogy of marketing as sort of like bombing, but you still need infantry with what's on the foot of ground. And as a student of history, that lots and lots of folks have failed. We were talking about Gallipoli last night. That was one where the Brits thought they could do it with ships just pounding the shore. No, they lost it on the ground, and they really overestimated the power of artillery. So anyway, there's a lot of truth on that front, but I won't bore you with the history of Gallipoli, and I will simply thank Bill and John for being on just a terrifically insightful episode. Thanks for being on the show.
You bet. Bill and Drew, I love doing this. I was just telling my team the other day how much I love being part of this Nimble team, because it's so fun building a platform that helps other people succeed in life. Mm-hmm. And when somebody stops you on the street and says, John, you changed my life with Goldmine, or you're changing my life with Nimble, that's just the best.
Yeah.
It's best. And so it's why we do what we do.
Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having us.
You've been listening to another great interview on Renegade Thinkers Unite with Drew Neiser. But the value doesn't end there. As a listener, you can download a free ebook from Drew, Renegade Thinkers, interviews with 11 trailblazing CMOs any business can learn from. Top marketing thought leaders and proven executives from Time Warner, American Express, and Chico's, and others. Get your free copy at renegadethinkersunite.com/ebook. For listeners only at renegadethinkersunite.com/ebook. Renegade Thinkers Unite is brought to you by Social Media Explorer, the website that explores the world of social media from the inside out. Great advice from today's leading social media columnists and experts at socialmediaexplorer.com. That's socialmediaexplorer.com.